What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? And welcome back to TD Thank you for joining us this Monday morning. Wake up with TD and Phinsanity in the morning. Guys, we just started another week. What's up, Phinsanity?
Hi. Hello, everybody. Excuse me.
Uh-oh, she's still asleep.
No, I should listen, TD. Can I tell you something? Long
Go
weekend.
ahead.
I had a barbecue with friends on Friday, but like I didn't eat any of the food. I'm like really like if I don't know the person cooking, I don't eat the food. And it was like a friend's brother, so it's like so I was just out there playing games and stuff. I was winning though, it was crazy because we were playing one particular game, not going to shout it out, and I wasn't doing well. Like I don't know why I was off or anything, and someone really like compared me to Shaq, and I was like, oh word, and I was just like, after then, like I just turned it up. By the end of the night, they were calling me Steph. Let's just say it like that.
Ooh, so you're playing basketball. So you're playing basketball.
We're not going to talk about what I was playing, but let's just say it involves a triangle and small balls. That's all we're going to talk about. That's the only.
All right. Well,
I'm behaving. I do have parents that watch this TD. Geez.
All right. Well, I'll leave it at that. All right. I don't even want to guess no more.
You don't know.
Triangles, small balls. I don't even want to guess no more. But you know what's funny? You said, if you don't know the person, you don't eat from them. It's crazy because my mama always taught me as a little boy, if you don't know them, don't eat from them. Don't trust everybody and don't trust everybody cooking. And to this day, Phinsanity, I don't eat from nobody but my mama and my wife. Like literally.
And Chef Jew.
People think, Chef Jew. Yeah.
Respect my boy's name.
Yeah, that's true. But it's kind of different because I eat out, and that's like, Chef Jew is like a whole kitchen and all that stuff. That's kind of different. Yeah. I'm talking about from a personal level of in your house cooking dinner, lunch, or something like that. I don't eat from nobody. And listen, like so many people have felt that I've been so rude. Like they've cooked without me knowing they've cooked. All right, I cooked this for you. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not hungry. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I don't eat from nobody. So it's sad because some people really get their feelings hurt. And I don't mean meaning to. It's just who I am, so it is what it is. But on the other news, so what's up? Two of them moved to Miami, huh?
Yes.
Two of them moved to Miami, huh?
Listen, one step at a time, baby steps. And, I'm excited for him. I would love to know where he's at. I mean, I just saw like the notification, but I don't know like what area he's exactly in. But you know what? Congratulations to you, Tua. I hope you enjoy the weather, the beaches, the culture. And it's like, especially the culture, like get into it because you're going to be here for a very long time. And we already love you, I guess. I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but welcome.
You are. He's our boy, so you're allowed to say it. Then another thing, it's interesting. They say he's doing miraculously well with his hip rehab. So what you think about that? For the physical therapist to say miraculously well.
Listen,
is this build up? Is this build up for ready to be the starter this season?
I mean, TD, oh my gosh, you're really doing this. First and foremost, I will say this. I love that I keep hearing all these great positive things about him in regards to this injury. I mean, that's, what a lot of us, we're thinking about. Let's not lie, before we drafted him. So, first and foremost, congrats on that, Tua. Keep rehabbing, keep getting strength in that hip and keep getting ready. My thing is like this. Let training camp play it out as far as, because I mean, even like if he's 100% healthy, right? It's still going to come down to his readiness for training camp. Let training camp play it out, and we'll see who our week 1 starter is. Now
they say the quote of miraculously well is because the strength in his hip, they wouldn't have expected him to have that much strength in his hip, but he has it.
I mean, listen, I've never doubted him. I've always said that Tua's, the type of person who fights back and comes back stronger than ever. I had to see it year after year, sadly, as a Bama fan. But to me, that's not surprising because Tua's the type of person that will put in the work and do everything that you ask him to do. You know how some guys like to try to cheat and skate their way through it? Tua's like going to deep dive into the rehab. Everything you tell him to do to get better and to be ready, he's going to do. He's not skipping any steps. He's not taking any shortcuts. He's going to do it full blown out. And he's even going to push himself so that he's above where you think he should be every single, step of the way. So I'm pretty sure the next evaluation will be even more, great. The news will be great, and we'll just keep hearing all these positive things, especially in training camp, like his movement and the fluidity of his throwing motion. Wherever you expect Tua to be at in the beginning start of training camp, think 10 steps ahead because he's just that type of guy. How did I become a Bama fan?
Phinsanity, you sure you want me to do that?
What?
You sure you want me to look at where Tua is supposed to be and take 10 steps ahead? You want TD to do that?
Yes, get with it.
He's starting. He's starting.
I
mean, come on now.
There's a lot more.
Never L. Burgess. I never participated in potlucks, L. Burgess. No. Let me stop lying. I participated by bringing something. Now, here's the thing. My job, they knew that I didn't eat from anybody. So, like, whenever I was in upper management and they wanted to throw me like a birthday potluck, they would literally put in the email that they didn't think I saw. FYI, everything must be store-bought and we must open it here in front of him. They knew it got that bad, okay? So no, never. So Phinsanity, back to this now. Come on now.
Yes.
10 steps ahead, then the man is starting. Let me ask you this about Tua starting, okay?
Shout out to team, keep it clean.
Shout out to team, keep it clean. Do you think that Tua himself is going to make the push to start? I'm not talking about just with his skills on the field. I'm talking about going in that office, start me.
No.
No?
I don't. Tua's a team guy.
Yeah,
team guy. Tua's a team guy.
Can't that be a team guy that says, I give us the best chance to win?
Listen,
start me.
Like for you to say like he's going to walk in like Flores' office and be like, hey, start me. That seems a little bit
some of the greats have done stuff like that.
Yeah, but like that just seems like like, hey, start me. Like I think Tua's play speaks for him. Tua's the type of guy, like he said, if the team needs him to hold a clipboard, he would do that. If the team needs him to start, he would do that. That's was Tua's message before even I think being drafted. So Tua's a team guy. If he's the type of person like, okay, if the coaches don't feel that I did enough in training camp and in the preseason games to be the starter, then I'm just gonna, wait until they really think that I'm 100% ready. He's not the type that's gonna, I guess, cause like an uproar like that. Can you imagine? I mean, because we already know Flores' personality, so I don't think he would be. I mean, I think it would come to the way he did. Like if he's like, "Hey, coach, I'm feeling really great," and because they're gonna have that meeting, when they decide who the starter is gonna be. I think I did enough. I feel 100% healthy. I'm ready to go. Week 1 against New England, and what do you think? Like, I really feel like I should be starting. I really think I can lead a team to a win week 1.
So if he goes, if
he'd have a more humble approach about it. If he really wanted, like, he would have a more humble.
Hey, that's good enough for me.
But I don't.
Good enough for me. So if he walks into Flores and say that, what is Flores' answer? Now he's healthy, he's rehabbed, and everything he said is true.
TD, it honestly, I can't tell you what Flores' answer is going to be right now.
No, don't walk away from it.
I can't tell you that because I haven't seen him, even throw to a single Miami player yet. For all I know,
walk away from it.
I'm not walking away from it. Talk to me Talk to me at the end of August. I'll give you a more direct answer. Talk to me then. How can I tell you if Flores? How? Because like, there's so many variables. Like, boom, if Tua really goes in there and like lights out, beats out Fitz. Because I mean, like, how much of it are we going to be privy to? As a fan base. With all the quarantine and all that. So I mean, we'll get to hear about it. We'll get to read about it. But like, let's be honest. A lot of our beat writers and media personnel are already partial to Tua. So
we know that. So
they could really have this narrative push where they want Tua starting and it's going to be like, oh man, Tua is looking great. But I can't wait for the video to get leaked and we'll talk about it then. But I don't think Tua is going to do that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, since Phinsanity wants to dodge the answer, okay, let us know in the comment section right now. Tua Tagovailoa humbly, like Phinsanity put it, tells Flores, I think I've earned it. I'm ready to bring. I think I can bring this team a victory week 1. What does Flores say? Let us know in the comment section right now. If Tua said that in a meeting humbly, what would Flores say to the young kid who is obviously looking better in camp? And he literally says, I think I can bring this team a W week 1. I think I can bring this team a W week 1.
He's not going to do it, TD.
What do you think Flores says? Okay, Tua, you starting in the discussion. Okay, all day said no. Best player, please show me. Ooh, if he's ready, play the man. B-Flow will make him earn it. Well, that is earning it. Like, what is everybody's definition of earning it? Earning it ain't nothing but being a leader on the team, showing that you can command this team and be the leader. And number 2, being the best player at the position. Playing the best football. That's what earning it is. There is no initiation of first you got to go through at least a minimum of 6 games before we even consider it. Do you know how many rookies played last year? Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4? And come on now. Earning it is a matter of being the best player at that position that gives us the best chance to win. It's that simple, man. So I hope Tua has that kind of confidence. Me too, Cloud Life. Even if it's passive, like they say, I really do. What do you think? Even if it's that way, it ain't got to be, I need to be the starter. But at least have the confidence to at least say it. At least have the confidence to say it. So it'll be interesting. Sit him until Fitz lose 2 in a row. It's like, why y'all waiting on the inevitable? We know at some point Fitz will lose 2 in a row, so why are we waiting? Especially if Tua might have won one of those games or both. 16-0, Tua Tagovailoa, rookie year, league MVP in his rookie season. League MVP in his rookie season. 19-0, Super Bowl champ, second team in NFL history, and members of Don Shula. Let's get it.
Hi, Strong One. Good morning. Thank you for waking up with us. Seating. Seating.
Yeah.
I trust Coach Flo. Talk to me at the end of August when there's more data. Let's say, can I get some more data? More data. But you know how I feel about Fitz. But for me to say this, let me get some more data.
We already got all the data. There's nothing more you need to know about Fitz, and let everybody else tell it. We got enough film on Tua. No, I'm just playing. We got to see this kid in camp. He had the ball out in camp. He needs to show that he's the clear favorite in camp. But it's funny how a lot of veteran people who have retired, quarterbacks and all that, Mike Vick being one of the most recent, said, you got to play this kid as soon as possible. You're going to see after week 1, he is hands down the better quarterback in the room. And Vic feels like I told y'all last week, Vic feels like Tua is going to be on the second on the depth chart for 1 week, and then he'll be number 1. But we shall see, man. We shall see. Because you know what? This is the thing that we don't know. Does Brian Flores have the Bill Belichick tendencies with his depth chart? You know how he don't want to tell you nothing until the time comes? You don't know anything until the time comes? So that's going to be interesting. Just like last year, did we know who was going to be the starting running back until game day? Did we know who was, you know what I mean? It was a lot of who's going to be what. So it's going to be a lot of secretive moments in this regard.
It's different, though, because for what it's worth, and like we can't ignore this fact, because the fact that this keeps getting, skated over and ignored is like blowing to me. Tua was an ownership pick. So let's not act like, Stephen Ross, because he knows that, the money Tua was going to bring in for his organization. Let's not act like Stephen Ross probably wants this kid to be ready week 1. Like, I'm pretty sure, since he's an ownership pick, he's going to be keeping an eye on, how Tua's progression and how they're actually handling the young man and like where they're, where he's at. I'm pretty sure Stephen Ross wants daily reports on Tua's progress because he's his future. He's his money. He's his, I'm sorry to say this, but ain't none of us going there to see any other player but Tua. I mean, I'm going to see Bobby, but how, Temptations. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Stephen Ross understands the reason why his season tickets are being sold at an exponential rate this year. The reason why jerseys are selling is because of Tua. And what is his fan base? You have to give eventually the fan base what they're looking, unless they come out with a joint statement and saying, hey, listen, guys, we think it's in the best interest, for the kid to sit and rest a year. Well, I said and rest. Let me not put it like that. Sit and learn a year so that next year, he's, 100% ready to go, knows the playbook, knows the offense in and out and all that. Now, we all just going to be sitting here and wait until that day that plug is pulled. So that chess piece is moved onto the board. And who's to say it's not on the board right now, but that's an ownership pick. We cannot forget the 5th pick. Ross was like, get me my franchise quarterback now. So the sooner the better.
Shout out to great one. Shout out to great one, DeVore, the homie in the building. What's up, man? We're going to get on that Madden. That controller has been ordered, but it ain't going to be here until Thursday the 18th.
Listen,
so
everybody, check out Great One's latest video on if we should trade for Dalvin Cook. It is so amazing. And he puts it so well. Check it out, guys. Definitely.
I gotta check that out. Thanks for letting me know, man. Great one, man. See you on the Madden sticks, man. Thursday I get my controller, so Friday I'll be handing out L's. But listen, everything you just said was loaded, so we got a lot more to talk about in this regard. Plus we're gonna talk about Rick Wiley, what Chris Sims said as well. But let's back up for a second. First of all, Phinsanity said it was an ownership pick. I have said it in the past, but I'm trying my best to stay away from it because a lot of people keep trying to beat me up for saying that because they don't want Tua to have been an ownership pick. They wanted Tua to have been the Miami Dolphins wanted him, like Flores and Krier all along wanted him. There's too much evidence out showing that it was an ownership pick, but I'm not going to go back and forth with people to try to validate that. Okay. Yes. Phinsanity.
We'll talk.
Is something wrong?
We'll talk.
All right. I mean, do you think it was an ownership pick? You just said so.
I think getting a quarterback at 5.
There you have it. That's my point because Burrow was the ownership pick.
Good morning,
Couldn't
Sean,
get him.
Bell.
Burrow was the ownership pick. Couldn't get him.
No. TD.
Burrow was the ownership pick. We couldn't get him.
TD.
We couldn't get him, so we had to go get somebody at 5. So yes, he was an ownership pick, but Burrow was the primary focus. We made the offer and everything.
Oh man,
we made the offer and everything. Cincinnati didn't go for it. But anyway, let's move on because
this is a Monday.
Great one said, and I 100% agree. Ownership pick. Some people don't want to accept that, but it's all right. It's a good ownership pick. It was a really good pick, y'all. It was a really good pick.
Joseph Bryan,
like I said,
Joseph Bryan had a great point.
Who?
Joseph Bryant.
All the rest of the picks in past years have been GM picks. How have they worked? I mean, I can't say. I mean, if you talk about first round, I can't say they've been bad outside of Charles Harris. I mean, if you think of the last first round picks, the last 3 or 4 first round picks we've had, they've all been pretty good to me, if I'm not mistaken. Christian Wilkins was a great pick. Minka Fitzpatrick was a great pick, but he got in his own way. Who else was the first pick in the last few years? Gosh, my mind's gone blank.
Like, how far back are we going?
3-4 years.
3-4.
Yeah.
Jeez, don't make me do this on a Monday, TD.
It is what it is, but I think most of them. Tunsil, yeah. Laramie Tunsil is one.
Tunsil dropped us, though.
Devontae Parker. We've had great first round picks, so I'm not all in on saying that the first round picks have been bad.
Okay.
So what up, D boy? Hanging out with us in the morning. But I want to get on Rick Wiley's comment. TD, what do you think about Chris Sims saying Stidham being better than Tua? Now, Phinsanity, did you hear his interview?
Something about, like, if you would have gave Herbert and all them guys, like, I guess his wide receiving core, then they would have lit up the SEC or something like that. I don't know, something like that. He basically doesn't think that Tua's validated because of the talent he had around him.
So Chris Sims, I don't know the guy. I just know that everybody knows him. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But he did show me his thought process is very similar to mine. Okay. It doesn't make it correct, but it is a theory that cannot go ignored because it's all the logic in the world. And when he was saying this in his interview, it wasn't just directed to Tua. It was a theory in general that everybody loves to ignore, but it's been proven so many times year after year after year. It's just that right now it's falling in Stidham's and Tua's lap.
Mm-hmm.
He basically said, why do people praise quarterbacks from a team that has everything?
Mm-hmm.
Like the top 4 receivers in the draft from Alabama. One of the best offensive lines in football from Alabama. Great running game in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Tight ends, whatever. Everything around this kid in Alabama is A1. And then he said quarterbacks like Herbert, Love, and stuff like that had half of the talent.
Half. Wow.
And basically said if those guys were on Alabama's roster, do you not think that they would put up better numbers? Now, he didn't say they would put up the same numbers, but wouldn't they put up much better numbers? Would Herbert's stock had been higher coming into the draft? Would Love's stock had not been higher coming into the draft? But we give these quarterbacks playing on these amazing teams an automatic kicker. In his mind, you should actually be more cautious about those quarterbacks because every year one of those quarterbacks go in the first round and they end up being a bust. And that is a fact. Some of the greatest quarterbacks in college football end up being a bust because they're surrounded by great players in college, but when they get to the NFL, they don't look the same, not even close, because they don't have the talent around them. They're not throwing to receivers that are wide open. They don't have 7 seconds to throw the ball in the NFL. And thus, they don't look the same. And he's right. We ignore that. We ignore that every single time, and he is 1,000% right. It happens every year for a player or two coming into the NFL, and then we call that player a bust.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is the player isn't a bust. It's that the NFL team can't duplicate the situation they were in college. Why? Because college can become a monopoly because kids have choices to go where they want to go. So Alabama can have the top 5 recruiting class for the next 10 years. But in the NFL, you get to draft players that don't have a choice where they get to go. And then you have a salary cap as well that can also dictate how much talent you're allowed to have, which should in return even out the playing field across the NFL in so many ways, as long as you're not offering ridiculous contracts. So why do people ignore that? Why? Why do they ignore the fact that a guy with 7 seconds to throw the ball with all the best receivers, and nobody's debating his skill, accuracy, ball placement, nobody's debating that. But some of these quarterbacks have the same thing. You're just unable to see it on display on a consistent level because they're getting sacked or their receivers aren't as good. So why do people ignore that? I'm just curious.
TD, I can't.
Now Stidham is not better than Tua Tagovailoa.
TD.
But he does make the argument if Stidham was the quarterback of Alabama, would his stats not be better?
Okay. You know what? First and foremost, shout out to Chris Sims for I guess, rocking the boat, giving us something interesting to talk about this this all season, because this is something that we need, right? Listen, this is what I'm going to say to those who want to criticize quarterbacks, who go to big programs with talent around them, right? They earned it. They earned it. Like, I'm sorry. Like, they earned it.
Earned what?
They earned that right. Tua.
That right to do what?
Hold up. Let me finish. To have that. They earned it. Tua was in Hawaii. The only non-landlocked state in the United States. Now you're talking about, let's see, like 49 continental, right? So that means Stidham and all them were a more convenient, way more convenient, hold up, TD, were a more convenient scout than Tua. They had to go all the way to Hawaii to find this kid. Don't punish him because of what he did, because he played himself into a scholarship at Bama. Don't punish him for that. My thing is like this. Joe Burrow, right? People fail to realize he was at Ohio State. Ohio State had a lot of great talent come out in these last recent years. What did he do with it? What did he do with it? I'm sorry. He got beat out. I'm sorry. I don't get what he's saying. You can't punish a kid for working hard all his life, right? And then being given an opportunity like this.
Who's punishing him?
Y'all are saying, because my thing is like this.
You're missing the mark. No, you're missing the mark.
Let me finish, because I let you go on yours. So let me finish. Let me bring it full circle. So then you talk about how a lot of these guys go on teams, right? A lot of these big name school guys go to teams and they become quote unquote bust. Well, I need to know what teams they were on specifically and how horrible that team was the year before. Because just like I'm saying, it's not Tua's responsibility to fix this franchise and to fix this organization. I have that same energy with every single one of those guys. I have been the first one who said, how many careers have the Browns ruined? How many of them? Now, granted, Baker's in a very interesting, situation because he has Jarvis Landry now and Odell Beckham, but they got both of them via trades. It's not like, and then Josh Gordon kind of just shot the whole thing in his foot, right? But like, what teams are they going to? How, are they really trying to put all that responsibility on that quarterback? Or are they actually surrounding them with talent like they're supposed to? My thing is like this. Most of these guys get what? Like 3 years before they're trying to get onto the next, the next train. Rosen was given 1 and they shipped him out. So let's be real about the situation that these guys come into. Tannehill got how many years? And never in no competition ever brought in to compete with him. Like, oh, here you go, Tannehill. This organization is just yours. Rain, sunshine, storm, sunny days. Guess what? We will put out articles about you potentially getting benched for Matt Moore. But guess what? You're going to play awesomely well the next week. And guess what? Everything's all right in the whole grand scheme of things. Come on, TD. A lot of this has to do with the organization that these guys are going to. I've seen a lot of guys go to Green Bay, and I can't think of like one guy who's been a franchise for Green Bay in the last couple of years that has not been able to like keep the same energy throughout Green Bay. Whether, because I mean, I don't have that much experience with it, but for Green Bay to have been, as consistent as they've been since Lombardi till now with their winning culture, there has to be some things said about this. They have systems where guys can, sit for years because they have franchise quarterbacks and learn, and they're not throwing these guys in, week one and saying trial by fire. So my thing is like this. If you do trial by fire with some of these guys, give them a break. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to them. You want these young men, 21 years old, to come in and fix your whole organization like that, and it doesn't work like that. We praise Tua and expect him to have a great year and a great season because we brought all this. We put a team around him. Do you think we would have the same energy about Tua if he was ushering in last year's team? And we were like, everything's on Tua, no offensive line, no run game, a subpar defense. What would we be saying about our team this year and Tua? How would we feel? Because you're the same person that says, hold up, you're the same person who uses the logic. Since you want to use that logical point, build a team and then put the quarterback as the cherry on top. So if these are guys are going onto teams that are not put together and you expect them, then TD, you can't do that because you're going off your first original point. Put a team together, then drop the quarterback in. It is not Tua's fault that he fell into a top 5 team that put something together. The fact that a lot of us have already written the Bengals off and saying it's not a great, spot for Burrow to go is because of the organization. Not because Burrow can't play, not because he can't ball out. It's because he's in one of the hardest defensive divisions in the league. Let's talk about that. And then on top of that, we think he doesn't have enough around him to support him. So are we going to say Joe Burrow is a bust because he landed on the Bengals? That's not fair. That's not fair at all to me. Because I don't want Joe Burrow I don't want any quarterback to be, the end all be all. Now, some of them can do it. Some of them learn how to do it. Some of them develop into that. But for you to say, oh, all the top, school guys go into this, well, I'm sorry. A lot of them go to a lot of horrible teams. And it's just facts. It's just what it is. And they want that guy. They bring him in. You draft him early. They say, oh, he has to start. And because they want him to start, and they haven't brought too much to change what they were doing last year, they just like, oh, yeah, we're just going to bring quarterback. We don't have all these first round picks and all this. We don't have all these picks in the draft in the first 3 rounds. Yeah, we just got one per round. We're just, we're going to just throw all these rookies in here, mix them in, and hopefully, it works. It doesn't work like that. You're asking a young guy to compete amongst men. Now, I'm not saying they're not a man, but a lot of you guys have been in workout programs. They're stronger, they're faster, and all that. So to ask these big name kids to do it by themselves, that's horrible. That's horrendous. At least we tried to bring in wide receivers for Tannehill. Let me not. Justin,
Phinsanity.
Why do you do this?
The reason why I was trying to cut you off about 4 minutes ago.
Go ahead, TD.
Because we're arguing 2 different points.
What point are you trying to argue, TD?
Number one, I never said it's the kid's fault.
Okay.
I never said that you penalize him for it. Mm-hmm. This is a theory by Chris Sims, and we're ignoring the theory and making it personal and trying to attach this to a specific person or specific persons. This argument isn't about, oh, so we're supposed to penalize Tua. No, you're not supposed to penalize Tua. This whole conversation is about keeping it in mind when making a decision on your quarterback. Keep these things in mind. My question to you is, why do we ignore that theory?
What theory?
the theory of he's playing with 5-star everything. First of all, we have to establish a few key answers first.
Okay.
Before we even go any further. Number one, if you play with all 5-star offensive linemen, all 5-star receivers, and a top running game, is that alone going to make the quarterback look better? Yes or no?
Yes.
It's going to make the quarterback look better. So we've established that as being correct, right? The only theory here is the fact that you have a lot of quarterbacks. Like, there could have been a quarterback better than Tua Tagovailoa last year, but you didn't know because they didn't play with top 5. I mean, and not to say, oh, he's a 1 in a million TD. Tom Brady. Exact type situation. If Tua Tagovailoa was coming out of college right now, which he did, and Tom Brady was coming out of college right now with the same teams they came from, I would get laughed at the gym for saying this kid, Tom Brady, he just ain't got the same weapons around him. Would I not? This isn't about penalizing Tua. It's about recognizing a guy's skill in the situation he's in. Would I not get laughed out of the gym right now? Laughed all around saying this guy knows nothing about football. If I said, if you look at that kid's attributes, Tom Brady, if he was on a better team, he would actually show y'all he's one of the best to ever do it. If I said that out of college, if I said that straight out of college, I would be laughed at. And this is all I'm saying. It's just the theory of the fact that some of these guys have some of the same skills that Tua Tagovailoa may have. They just aren't able to put it on display as much in college due to the fact of what's around them. And Rick Tupac says earlier, nobody has 7 seconds. He would have got injured. He would have never got injured. The play where he hurt his hip, he had the ball in his hand for 9 seconds.
Cheating.
Yes.
Don't do this.
No, listen. This is all logical. It's not even a debate. It's just talking about it. This is Chris Sims' theory, and I actually agree with it.
Cheating. But you can say that, but also my thing is like this. Give credit to where Tua places these balls at. Give credit.
Absolutely.
Give credit to the touch. One thing I say about Tua is Tua touch and how he drops these balls where they need to be, regardless of whether the guy's open, whether it's a quick slant and the guy's on the hip. Tua rarely throws a ball behind a receiver. Tua rarely puts the ball in a horrible spot. So my thing is like this. We all saw the combine, right?
That's not true. By the way. Go ahead. It's not. If you go watch Tua Tagovailoa's film, you got receivers running go routes all day, and they going full speed, and sometimes they got to slow down to catch it. They just got 9-foot separation, so they able to.
If you
go watch the film. I'm not knocking the kid. He drops dimes and beautiful.
If you want to talk about Ruggs,
that's not true.
We can talk about Ruggs. Ruggs would outrun a lot of quarterbacks' arms. I'm sorry, he's just that fast. I'm sorry. It's just the fact of the matter. It's the fact, Ruggs.
What they got to do with it doesn't matter. You're supposed to have that timing down. There's no such thing as outrunning a quarterback. The quarterback got to know the receiver timing. What are we talking about?
Cheating.
The guy outruns the quarterback.
When he threw that one, his ankle was injured. There's plenty of times, there's plenty of tape where he hits guys in stride. So, come on, let's be honest.
Yes, there is.
There's
plenty of tape on there for every quarterback.
Don't judge him off of a hurt ankle. Please don't do that.
What are you talking about? This has nothing to do with his ankle.
I know the story you're talking about. I know it's when
I'm not talking about a specific
you kind of have to separate Tua's film from when healthy, because when he's healthy, he's actually even running the ball with a higher tendency than he isn't when he was injured. When he got injured on that ankle, it kind of just became stay back there and throw it. Let's be real and let's be honest. And a lot of those throws, hold up.
What does that have to do with this?
Because I'm saying his throwing and his ability to throw the ball and drive it down the field, it's going to be affected a little bit if he's still recovering from an ankle injury, TD. He can't put as much weight and thrust into that. Come on, TD. But let's get back to this. We saw the combine where a lot of these guys were overthrowing, underthrowing, and missing. I saw it. So for y'all to say, and these guys are wide open, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Wide open. So I would love to have seen a lot of those guys who did not have a single defender on the field against this in the combine, throwing to these guys on Bama. We would have been running Najee Harris and whoever number 24 was.
But you don't know that, Phinsanity.
TD, we know that because guess what? The combine says no. TD, the combine says go out there and show me your best throws. Hold up, go regardless of everything else. Go out there and show me your best throws.
Okay.
Tua did not have the opportunity to do that because he was coming off from an injury.
Thank you. So how you gonna compare him to them at a combine?
Because I saw what he did when there was defenders on the field. If they can't do it when there's not defenders on the field, why would I expect them to do it when there is defenders on the field?
Hold on. So you saying these guys didn't throw that ball very well this season against defenders on the field for their team?
Not as well.
You mean to tell me Herbert didn't throw the ball well at all against defenders on the field?
Herbert was more known for making plays with his legs. Let's be honest. I think he even did that.
So you're totally negating it that he didn't throw the ball well against defenders on the field this year. Just
what I'm looking at was when he had the opportunity to go out there. Listen, just go out there and put the ball out there. The receiver will get it. Hopefully, now granted, it's different if the receiver drops it. If they put it on your hands, the receiver drops it. But we saw a lot of things come from that combine. So let's be real. If Tua was out there, Tua was going to be throwing dimes every single time, hitting guys in stride. On hand, had he been 100% healthy, I don't know what he would have looked like with the ankle and all that.
All right, never mind. We're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Okay.
We're not going to give him the benefit of the doubt. What we're going to do is we're going to look at
Phinsanity.
No, what we're doing is we're looking at what he did do with all that. My thing is like this. I don't take it lightly that we had a Jerry Jeudy, that we had Devontae Smith, that we had Henry Ruggs and Jalen Waddle. I do not take that for granted. I don't. But what I will say is that for what it is worth, with having all those different types of receivers, because they're all uniquely different and independent of each other, which is absolutely amazing. Tua put up great numbers with all of them individually. They all had amazing stats. And what I'm saying is, you could have made that argument to me if those guys were out there hitting those wide open guys like nobody's business. Had Tua been out there in the combine, it would have been a show of shows. Had he had a pro day, it would have been amazing. I mean, you saw it when Tua was out there making those throws to those guys on his tape. He was hitting them.
Like I said, you already agreed.
I'm sorry.
You already agreed that the players around him in Alabama definitely did make him look better.
Made him look
as he made them look better too. He made them look better. Everybody on that offense made each other look better.
They worked
as a unit. My only point to all of this is if any one of those college quarterbacks had played for Alabama, does it make them look? Yeah, they ain't even got to have Tua's touch.
So no,
you're missing my point here. I'm going to say that they don't have Tua's touch.
I'm getting your point.
Okay,
their numbers. Are you saying their numbers would they have done better? Then sure, but would they have done Tua? They wouldn't have done Tua.
They would have been higher prospects and everything.
They wouldn't have done Tua.
They wouldn't have done Tua. I can give you that all day. But what I am saying to you is, would that team make their prospect, their stock rise big time?
Not if they can't hit them. That's up to them.
Yeah, Phinsanity again. They ain't got to hit them. You're right. You're right. You're missing, but you're not answering the question. Would Jordan Love, would Justin Herbert, would their stock have been much higher had they played for Alabama? That's all I'm saying. They ain't got to be as good as Tua. They ain't got to hit as many receivers as Tua. But would they have won more games, and would they have been mentioned a lot more playing for Alabama? Yes or no?
Like I said, if they couldn't hit open guys at a combine, I don't know. Jerry Jeudy and them probably would have been.
So say no. Say no, Phinsanity. Say no then. Say no. Say no. Their stock would have not have risen.
I don't know, because I don't know what kind of I don't know what kind of offense they would have ran with them, because all I know is that Tua came in there and took us from a power running to a complete, RPO. I don't know.
See,
I don't know. I'm sorry. You know what? I would really.
You know what? That's fair then. That's fair then. But here's the whole point of it all. If you're gonna sit here and say you don't know, then Chris Sims is right.
No.
Chris Sims didn't even say yes or no. He just said we ignore that. So we don't know if these guys. That's what Chris Sims' message was. He was saying Tua definitely benefited from the team that was around him, but there's a lot of other quarterbacks that would have benefited from the team around him as well. So when you put all that together, how do you think everybody else's stats and their numbers and things would have looked, or how they would have been a prospect coming into the NFL had they played for Alabama? And listen, it is ridiculous if nobody thinks that those kids would have looked better as prospects coming into the NFL had they played for Alabama with 5-star everything around them. It is ridiculous. And then for Rip Tupac in the comment section to sit there and say, those receivers weren't that good, Tua made them. You better stop. You better stop. Stop the ridiculousness.
Leave Rip alone.
You gonna sit? No, Rip asked for that one. You gonna sit there and you gonna disregard those receivers and make it seem like they some bums that Tua made. You better stop it. Hold on, Phinsanity, do you agree with that? Tua made the receivers? Do you feel like Tua made those receivers?
I think it's a strong positive correlation that they had on each other relationship.
Man, because these guys
those were some highly recruited guys. It's not like Bama brings in slouches, but what I will say to this, what Tua did, and it goes back to my point, they went all the way to Hawaii to find this kid. Hawaii. I don't even know how far that is from Bama, but it's very much farther than Ohio. Let's just put it out there. I'm sorry. I don't know if Joe Burrow was recruited by Alabama, but if he was and he just decided not to go, then that's on him. That's why I say, like, we really got to get into like where like a lot of these guys are recruited, like too, like who gets, scholarships and all that. But for what Tua did, let alone let's not talk about his freshman year, but what he did and the numbers that he put up and the way he was always consistent throughout his career, with that, I can't say that these guys would do the same, because I saw how they didn't hit wide open guys. I saw how they overthrew, guys on simple goals and stuff like that. So to say you have Devontae Smith wide open on a go route and you're going to overthrow him, okay. We'll see. We'll probably, like I said, be running Najee Harris and whoever number 24 was, because I can't remember what's the name. And I can't get behind that. I can say that maybe they would have got more national recognition if you want to talk about that. Sorry, but it's not like other, guys, don't get national recognition. Sorry. Tua performed week in and week out.
His whole team performed week in and week out.
And one thing, listen, and Tua performed. Tua showed out.
Shake Money said, if Alabama is such a great machine, why is Tua the only one out of all quarterbacks Saban had to be picked in the first round? Because they changed the offense to a passing offense. They wanted to take advantage of Tua's throwing ability. I never negated that. I don't know why everybody always come back to something that shows Tua's skill. I never argued his skill. Yeah, I said there's things that he needs to work on, but his arm, listen, that's what you want. That's what we want in Miami. That arm, his skills. So, but in regards to if Alabama is such a great machine, why is Tua the only one out of all quarterbacks Saban had to be picked in the first round? That question, Shake Money, it would be logical if the great machine wasn't going in the first round. But the great machine, the offensive linemen, the defense, the receivers, they're first round all day. So you would be making a point if that great machine wasn't going in the draft and it was just Tua. Then it makes sense. but the whole machine was drafted. Much of that machine was drafted, bro. So I don't even get the logic behind the question, actually. All right. But no, listen, Phinsanity,
excellence.
Yeah, all I'm saying is this.
Mm-hmm.
We can't ignore it. And you're right. You're right when you said these quarterbacks, though, they go to terrible situations.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point, though. That's the point. It's the point that we go after this top quarterback that was in a perfect situation. We're putting them in a not so top situation, and they don't look nearly the same. They don't display nearly the characteristics that they displayed. And that's the concern. That's what, like you said this earlier, that's what Chris Sims is basically trying to say. But you also have a sample size of some quarterbacks who've already been in similar situations like that, perform above average or well. So that has always been the main concern about it, about this. I don't want to say quote unquote glorified quarterback, but that's what it means. They go into these situations that aren't the same. Like Tua comes into thank God that we're going to put him in a much better situation. And to me, he has no excuse. Okay. He's going into a better situation than most first round quarterbacks go into. That's a fact. Even with the offensive line, we still have to see if it gels. It's still a much better situation than most first-round quarterbacks do. He's not going in a Cincinnati situation. He's not going into the first overall pick situation or top 5 pick situation that most teams bring in their quarterback for. He has a good defense that's going to be behind him. He's going to have some receiving weapons. And some could argue, is our receiving core better than Alabama's receiving core? Don't need to go there. But he's going to come into a much better situation. But these guys that don't come in, like, to me, Tua has no excuse with this team. Even if it's not, he has no excuse with this team. This team isn't bottom 7 in the league. If we're still bottom 7 in the league, then something's wrong. He's not coming into a situation of we pick 5th overall, so we have the 5th worst team in the league. He's not coming into that situation. There is no excuse. So my whole thing is, if this kid does struggle and don't play well with this team, it's going to be what Chris Sims was concerned about. Yeah, these guys have struggles early on. They're rookies, X, Y, and Z. But these are the things that we have to watch out for going forward. Now, I'm hoping that he rises above it and have that Russell Wilson type season. First year, let's go, 12-4. Why not? I don't see why we can't. I know some people would be like, well, that team was better than this team. I don't see how they were that much better overall. They still had one of the worst O-lines in the league. Nobody talks about that. Nobody even talks about that Fitzpatrick got sacked 50-plus times or whatever last year, but Russell Wilson got sacked like 15 times more than him. That's been Russell Wilson's career, his entire career. But nobody talks about that. And that's what makes Russell Wilson great, to still be able to do what he does, yet get abused every single year from that O-line. So I have big expectations and hopes for Tua, and having expectations may be unfair. Some people may feel that way, but I have big hopes and expectations because, I mean, this is what everybody says. I mean, of course, I have my own analysis of Tua, but when everybody says he's this and that and this, high expectations. There's no excuse with this roster. None, Phinsanity.
TD.
And I'm not going to let people have an excuse.
TD. And that goes back to my point that I tried to make earlier. I don't put it all on these rookie quarterbacks to try to come in here and change my organization. It has to be a collective effort from, the front office to our coaching staff and to the players. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to change the tendency of a losing organization. One guy cannot do it. He is not John Wick. Now he might become John Wick with some time. But even John Wick had to learn how to become an assassin. It's not like John Wick woke up one day being John Wick. No.
Yeah, but he survived the trial.
So I think it's like this. Yes, we have a lot of us, see us at, I guess minimally, I think the lowest I've heard was 7-9, and I think as high as like realistically, I think some people gave us like 12 wins. Like some people, not me. I think I might have one time though. I think I might have said 12-4. I don't know. But that's not all on Tua. That has to be done collectively as a team. So for you to automatically go out and say, like right now, before he's even thrown a ball in training camp, for you to say, hey, if we don't, vastly improve, I'm putting it on Tua, you can't do that.
I didn't say that. I said he has no excuse. See,
he does have an excuse.
No, if he's missing throws, if he's throwing picks and this and that and this.
Well, that's on him.
I'm talking about for his play. Because if you got a trash O-line and receivers who can't even get open and stuff, that's your excuse. But if you're throwing picks and you're coughing up the ball, fumbling and getting sacked all day, and the O-line is playing well and you're holding on to the ball, you have no excuse. I'm not talking about the collective team thing here, because we have the things he needs. I'm talking about specifically his play. His play, not the team success, specifically his play. That's all. So I just wanted to clarify that. I don't want people to think, if we go 7-9, TD feels like it's Tua's fault. Well, in the 9 losses that we had, was he a major contributor in the losses? Did he have 2 or 3 picks a game? That's what I'm talking about here. I'm not saying that if our defense can't stop the offense or we're not moving the ball because the running game sucks. No, they don't have nothing to do. I'm not putting that on Tua. I'm talking about specifically his play, because quarterbacks struggle early because the things that are around them usually aren't helping the situation. And I don't think that we have a team built that way that's not helping the situation. And this is why a lot of people are nervous and don't want him to start right away. Don't be nervous. This kid should be just fine, and I think he will. And real quick, why do people mistake things like some people, they mix 2 conversations together and it's not what's actually being said. Like I read in the comment section just now that if Chris Sims is that smart, then why don't he tell us who we should have drafted? Chris Sims never said Tua was a bad draft pick. See, you're mixing 2 things up Chris Sims isn't the one starting controversy. Chris Sims only introduced the theory of what concerns him. And when you introduce a theory, your theory can be proven wrong. And I'm pretty confident Chris Sims knows all of this could be irrelevant if Tua comes out, balls out, and says that's not the case for me. But y'all try to put a theory on a person as if it's their fact. It's just when they put things together, what they can see being a potential doesn't make it fact. I agree with Chris Sims. It doesn't make it a fact. Tua can come out, ball out, have no issue whatsoever, be the league MVP, and our theory is wrong. But the message is to those who ignore the theory as if it couldn't exist at all, because if it did happen, then you're skating. Well, that ain't why. This is why. Well, that is why. Guys, do you know what a theory is? It's for you to explore it in your mind and say it is a possibility, because the truth is it is.
TD, and you know what? I'm going to say this. Because I respect you, bro. You're my big brother. You're my mentor.
You gotta let it ride, Phinsanity. Go ahead.
I respect you for this. That was nothing but some clickbait.
No. But Phinsanity, I've been preaching the same thing for a year and a half. It's a logical theory.
Wait. Because he even hedged his his stuff. He says, how can I put a guy who hasn't thrown, a single pass to the NFL above a guy who has? So he hedged it. So he's basically saying if Tua comes out and balls, he could go back and say, well, the only reason why I put him behind Stidham was because, I had never seen him throw in the NFL. This was nothing but some clickbait. Let it go. We all know how we feel about it.
No, you're viewing it that way. You're viewing it that way. Like, You're viewing it that way. Just because you view it that way doesn't mean that it is, because I've been saying the same thing for a year and a half. Like Michael Pulisic is saying right now. Right, TD? So what is your point? So first of all, he acknowledged right. He acknowledged right. Then he said, so what is your point? I mean, every player is better with better talent. The point is, we make it seem like this was the guy that was guaranteed. That's the point. We don't know that. And all Chris Sims was saying is people just want us to automatically anoint this one guy when this guy here didn't have any talent in college around him who could be just as good and has thrown an NFL pass. So at the end of the day, and here's the crazy thing about it. If Tua starts, see, this is my point, but nobody wants to answer it. Nobody wants to clear their mind and just answer the question. If Stidham starts this year and Tua starts this year, Tua struggles mightily and Sims is a freaking league MVP candidate, then what? Was his logic not valid?
Yeah.
Was his logic? That's all I'm saying. Yes or no? Was his logic valid if Stidham goes out and goes MVP and Tua struggles this year? Was his logic not valid? But the thing is, people want to ignore just a simple logic and say, what's the point? That's the point of it all. You have these conversations because it's a possibility.
You already said,
so you're not shocked if it happens.
Said that you don't even expect Stidham to be better than Tua. So
I don't, but if he comes out and does it.
Is this about like validating a point?
No, it's not Phinsanity. People beat up on a theory. If you came out, Phinsanity, and said, well, guys, y'all have to realize Sam Darnold, like, and you may say, oh, I would never say that, TD. But if something in your mind, if you put 2 and 2 together for you, doesn't make it right, but for you, and you say, well, y'all got to slow down because this is the real situation with Sam Darnold, and he can come out and be better than Tua because of this reason. We can disagree. Nah, I don't think so. That's fine. But to say you're wrong, and then Sam Darnold comes out and he's better than Tua, why do people attack your theory? It's just a theory. You can say you disagree, but to make it a factual thing that you're wrong, that's all people do as fans from the outside looking in. They attack people's opinions as if they're wrong. And then they get mad when they come back and argue it and say, what's your point? My point was just, this is a theory that could happen. They attack me, and I always bring this up. They attack me with Tunsil. Tunsil could get traded. Bro, you're wrong. What sense would that make? He's our investment. He's our future. What are you talking about, guys? It's a possibility. Why are y'all killing me over me and just Dolphins talk? A possibility. And then when it happened, what did I hear from people? They can't respect the theory. They got to take it personal. And the person delivering it is only telling you what they believe. So that's why you have to have a mindset of time will tell. Oh, I see your point, TD. Well, let's sit back and see if that happens.
TD.
I disagree with it, but let's sit back and see if that happens. But they want me to believe what they believe. They want to change my opinion on the matter. That's the issue. That's the point. That's the point. They don't realize they're the ones attacking. I'm not attacking for agreeing with Chris Sims' theory. They're the ones attacking, getting mad that I agree with it. Why? Is it not? Do I not have that right to feel the way that I feel? That's all I'm trying to understand.
Cheating.
Yes. Do I not have the right to feel the way I feel, Phinsanity? You're good. And that's what I don't understand. If I believe in one thing, why do people get so mad about it when it is a true possibility? When it is a true possibility. Rip say, here we go with Tunsil again, Phinsanity 5. Rip, what did you feel when I said Tunsil might get traded? What did you think? I'm curious because you say, here we go with Tunsil again. What did you think when TD said Tunsil is, listen, y'all, don't be mad if Tunsil get traded because it might just happen. What did you feel? What did you believe when I said that? So if you want to say, here we go with the Tunsil again, why don't you tell everybody what you believed when I said that? And that's the whole point of it all. It's just a theory. It's possible, but thank you, Joseph. It's possible, but very unlikely. I'm with that. But we're not going to sit here and act surprised if it does happen, because ain't nobody going to come back and say, TD, that theory was right. Nobody's going to come back and say that. They're going to come back and I'm going to be like, I told y'all this because it's a theory. Y'all going to say, so what's your point? You're going to say that again. You're going to say those exact things again. So what's your point? So what's your point? It amazes me. And to me, that's just straight closed-mindedness. It's closed-minded. You can disagree with something, but if you listen to it, you can understand the logic behind it, and then you can evaluate it as it's happening. So a year from now, we could be like, Chris Sims was full of crap, didn't even come close. He was so wrong. TD agreed with it. He was so wrong. And TD, the difference is with TD, he's going to say, man, I was wrong. That logic did not hold up, especially with Tua. It definitely didn't hold up. What's wrong with that? That's what you call a conversation. What some of y'all want is for me to be gung-ho about every single thing said about everything y'all want. Oh, Tua is this. He can't be beaten by anybody. He's the best of ever. I don't think this and that. Oh, Josh Allen better than Tua? No, not at all. That can never happen. If you look at the passes, blah, 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 he's a better prospect coming out. It ain't even possible. It's almost like some people just want me to make sure I stick to the script and go with the popular belief. I can't, man. I can't. I'm going to go with what I truly believe. Doesn't make you right. Doesn't make you right.
Today.
Welcome back.
Sorry about that. My niece and my nephew just got dropped off, and my sister was just like hammering the doorbell, like, I'm like, and I texted, I said, stop ringing the doorbell. So I had to go get them. Sorry, guys, but I'm back. Listen, TD, no. Come on. No. You know what? How about this? You know what?
It can be clickbait, but not for me.
Listen. Come on. Listen. I'm gonna just say this. As far as Stid goes, we'll see week 1.
I don't think Stidham's better. Let's get that straight now.
Why are we doing this?
This isn't about whether or not Stidham is better.
So it's not about Stidham or Tua.
I'm saying that I agree with his theory about players coming in from college in a perfect situation. You really don't know fully what you have because that perfect situation is rare in the NFL. It's rare. So people they got to stop having the mindset of what you saw in college is what you're going to get in the NFL.
It's not so much as rare. It's that they don't get the opportunity, because my thing is that you're saying it's rare. It's not so much as it's rare. It's more of they're less likely to go to a well put together team, a team that's already winning and competing. So they go to winning programs, right? Mm-hmm. They continue to win because they're in a winning situation, a winning program, winning I don't want to say organization, but let's just say it's a program, and then they immediately get dropped into a losing organization. So I get what you're saying, because I think it's not so opportune, but would they not? Could we reverse that and say, oh well, maybe they would be good if they were in a great organization and they had actual number one receiver.
But the NFL is changing.
Because I think like this, there are organizations who have a number one and a number two receiver. Mm-hmm. Let's not get that twisted. It's just that when you go to let's just say a top 5 organization, right? They tend not to have that, or they don't have a running game. Something's lacking. But a lot of teams who win tend to kind of have a complete NFL team. If you really want to look at a lot of the teams that win, you tell about the Saints. I don't know if they necessarily have a number 2, but they have an Alvin Kamara, they have a running game, and they have a number 1 wide receiver.
But it's changing. A lot of them don't have that. The landscape of the NFL is changing now. And the young quarterbacks coming in, the rookies are actually being the most successful. The guys that are on their rookie contract are actually helping turn franchises around because they have a lot of money to put weapons around them. It's not the way it used to be, where remember the Matt Stafford and all those crazy contracts as rookies? They got to get paid big money as a rookie. That's when the influx of rookies failing because they were going to sorry teams because they were paying rookies a lot of money. Look at the playoffs this year. 9 teams had a quarterback, or 10 teams had a quarterback that was on a rookie deal. 10 teams, nine. If I'm not mistaken, it was 9 teams that had a rookie, not a rookie, but a quarterback that was on a rookie deal. So the landscape of that has changed ever since that collective bargaining agreement happened, where these rookie QBs can't get that $100 million contract anymore. And what's happening is teams have a lot of money when they go young quarterback to put great teams around them. It's not happening that way anymore where these guys are going to trash teams automatically. Yeah, they were trash, but as soon as the quarterback comes in, they actually load up the roster with weapons around them.
1 second, because hold up.
They load up the roster with weapons around them.
Let me see 1 second, because I gotta look at something. I'm sorry. Or maybe I have to put it in this year. I'm sorry. So hold up. I'm trying to pull this up. So I'm just looking at the teams that made it.
You mean the playoffs?
Yeah, I'm looking at the teams who made it because I can't remember off the top of my head.
Go look at them. And the only one that's an outlier is Tom Brady because he automatically gives his team a deal. So I include him in that scenario.
Participants. Okay.
Good morning.
Okay. So we had the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Patriots, the Texans,
Buffalo,
the Bills, and
that's
the Titans.
5.
And the Titans in the AFC.
Well, Tannehill doesn't apply, even though he was only making $7 million. But that doesn't apply. That's 5 in the AFC. Now the NFC had a lot of veterans.
So I'm looking at these teams.
Missed out on Derek Brown.
I'm just looking at these teams and I'm looking like which one of these playoff picks going into the season like really surprises me. Like
what do you mean by surprises you?
Like I'm pretty sure everyone expected the Ravens to be there, right? Because they have an amazing defense behind them.
But how can they have an amazing defense? Look how much they paying Lamar.
Cheating. But
all of these teams in the
Lamar
AFC.
Jackson went to a winning. Okay.
No, you're missing it. You're missing it.
I know. I get what you're saying, but
it's the same thing that happened to Flacco.
Lamar Jackson went to a winning organization.
No,
and then on top of that,
that's not true.
The Steelers lost Ben Roethlisberger. The Browns had all expectations and fell way short of it. Like, no, I'm just trying to because I understand your philosophy about these young quarterbacks.
No, it's about the money that they have available.
Yeah. I understand that, but who didn't expect Houston to win their division? You could say Buffalo, getting in and Tennessee, the wild cards, but everybody expected Kansas City to win. Everybody expected Baltimore to win a division. Everybody expected New England Patriots to win a division. Everybody expected the Houston to win a division. If you had to tell somebody to make a ticket of the divisional winners in the AFC, it would go as follow. I'm sorry. Now,
Phinsanity. Baltimore Ravens missed the playoffs 3 years in a row, and insert Lamar Jackson playoffs 2 years. Baltimore Ravens was not 5-11, 8-8, huh?
That's because of the athleticism that he brings.
Yo, you're missing it. When they added Lamar Jackson, they saved tons of money at the position. Now you're able to put weapons around them.
Flacco started. Did he make it last year when Flacco started?
2018?
The year before this one, when he was a rookie.
Okay.
When he was a rookie, right?
10-6. Barely.
Did he make it though? They weren't running the same offense. And they even said it. We changed the offense this year to Flint Lamar.
Oh, you're missing it, Phinsanity. The money allocation was totally different. Who's the one who got him over the top?
Lamar Jackson is the whole cheat code.
Phinsanity, they didn't make the playoffs 3 years before Lamar Jackson.
Because
what I'm telling
Flacco,
you is
listen, that's because different quarterback. Flacco, don't talk about the money. If you want to talk about it, talk about
you see what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking about? We be arguing two different things. My conversation is the money.
What the money? Three in a row,
my conversation is about the money. When you're not spending that kind of money, what you're allowing around the quarterback. That's all I'm saying. When you're not spending that crazy kind of money, you allow that quarterback to have better talent surround him, giving you a better overall team. Those are facts. You have a much better team because you surround your quarterback, your young quarterback, with great talent.
I'm arguing that point with you.
That's the only point I'm making. So what was the argument?
What I'm saying to you is that also you have to look at Lamar Jackson as an individual quarterback compared to Joe Flacco.
Absolutely.
Like there's levels to this. They just changed their whole offense. Joe Flacco was playing horrible. Enter Lamar Jackson and they go on a whole play, like they make a run to make it to the playoffs. It had nothing to do at that year because he had the same talent around him as Joe Flacco, correct? I'm not arguing with you about the money, but if you're going to say these things, also look at the anomaly of who Lamar Jackson is as an athletic talent. Because I get it. If they pay him, they're going to have to let some pieces go. But they're also going to be looking at it, well, Lamar Jackson isn't just a guy who needs to stand in the pocket and I need to put X, Y, and Z, wide receiver around him to make sure, what's the name, he's as productive because he brings his legs to the table. Now, granted, a lot of us who look at it don't want Lamar Jackson taking that many hits. He knows how to slide, but you still don't want him in that open field like that because eventually, one day, someone is probably going to try to blindside him. I do not wish that on you, Lamar Jackson. But I'm just saying, if you had to ask somebody who was it wasn't a shocker who made the playoffs this year other than Tennessee and Buffalo. But those are the wild card teams. You look at the divisional winners, other than San Francisco, you probably could have made an argument of who was going to win the NFC West. But other than that, it kind of went to suit. The better organizations and the better teams just go every year.
Insanity.
I'm sorry. And things could have been said if Ben Roethlisberger may have been there last year because the Steelers actually made a late run somehow, some way with Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph. But Ben Roethlisberger would have still had, I don't know how he would have played last year, but I'm pretty sure it would have been better than Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges. And I think Connor got hurt a couple games and was out. So there's a lot of things that go into this team. But I understand your point about the money. I don't argue about the money, but I'm just saying, show me your team last year. Show me the division winners. Show me a rookie quarterback that comes in. You know what? Show me a guy on a rookie deal who comes in and just with nothing around him wins a division.
Win a division?
I'll give you this. If Tua, would we give Tua credit if he wins a division this year? Would we say that it's because Tua's on his rookie deal?
Absolutely.
Because my thing is this: Fitz ain't making top quarterback money either. So then, but my thing is this: even because I don't think. Wait a minute, hold up. Let me look at it because I don't. Even Seattle made it. And ain't nobody. The man lost every single running back that he had last year. Lost almost every single tight end he had last year, and it was just him, the Tyler Lockett, and DK Metcalf show. And their defense played very well. Jadeveon Clowney was very instrumental to that. But it's not like Russell Wilson isn't making money. It's not like Joe
Flacco. Joe Flacco made $12 million in 2018.
It's not like Green Bay Packers aren't paying Rodgers. Is Drew Brees making money with the Saints?
Drew Brees.
And the Saints. Is he making money? Garoppolo. Was Garoppolo making money?
And who was carrying that team?
Garoppolo made some throws.
They would have won a Super Bowl if he would have made.
They blindly gave that man a contract. Shout out to Jimmy G. Is Carson Wentz? And that's going to be their downfall. Garoppolo's contract is going to be their downfall.
Because you got the
is
thing
Carson
about
Wentz
San Francisco
making some
is
money?
they also
I
have
don't know if
some
Carson
good
Wentz
young
making money.
talent on that team, which
Like
they're gonna
Carson
have to
Wentz,
get paid at some point.
is Carson Wentz making some money? I don't know if Carson Wentz is making money. I mean, the Cowboys kind of just squandered that opportunity. I don't know how.
What opportunity with Carson Wentz? How?
I said the Cowboys squandered it. The man don't have like half his wide receiver core for half the year, and you still don't win the division. Sorry.
At the end of the day, time is gonna tell on all these things.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of teams
Time
in
is
the NFC making money.
Time is always going to tell. And let me tell you why the Dolphins have the advantage over the
Time
next
is
few years than a
getting
lot of these teams. If from a standpoint of my theory, the Dolphins are like the last team to do it. We're going to have the youngest quarterback on a rookie deal when Darnold, Allen, Mahomes, Jackson, what's his name in Houston? Gosh, Watson. All of them going to have a new deal. All of them going to have that massive money taken away from their roster, and we're going to have the complete team. All of them are going to take a hit because when you give Lamar Jackson $40 million, and you tell me where that other $35 million coming from on that roster.
Oh man!
You tell me how they going to save $35 million, and wherever those savings are coming from, it's not going to make their team better. It is not going to make the team better. So
cousin getting a check. I don't know.
We're going to be the ones with the advantage because we have the youngest in that situation. And then we're going to come up to that. Now, this is the thing. As we watch this situation over the years, Phinsanity, if Buffalo takes a drop after he gets his money, if the Ravens take a fall after they get their money, if the all those 5 teams I just named, if they take a fall after they get their money, mark my words, it's going to be the Miami Dolphins. It's going to be the Cincinnati Bengals. It's going to be teams like that start replacing 1 or 2 or 3 of those teams, because it doesn't mean that they're not going to make the playoffs anymore, because Mahomes is still Russell Wilson-esque as far as without the talent around him, he can still get 10 wins. I just think that players like Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson won't be those guys. They won't be, in my opinion.
Won't be what guys?
Patrick Mahomes will, huh?
What guys that could carry the team?
Yes, and what I mean by carry the team is when they take $35 million away from the team and they got to reduce their roster. I mean, look at Deshaun Watson. He's a walking 9-7 or 10-6, and you take away talent from around him, and Tunsil's already hurting him with his contract. He's going to be the guy out of the playoffs every year. Because you know why? He's gonna be the one that actually misses the playoffs. You know what team is gonna make it over him? Tennessee. Tennessee is gonna take that spot. It's them and the Chiefs that's gonna take those spots every time. I'm telling you, Tennessee, because people underestimate Tannehill's contract. That contract being $27 million, people underestimate the savings of these $40 million guys coming up. That's $13 more million. And then, truth be told, we already know which quarterback played better last year. That's a fact. Oh, hold on. So, Phinsanity, you're gonna sit here and say he didn't play better last year?
Oh my gosh!
I'm curious. He didn't play better last year?
TD.
So he didn't play
TD.
He didn't play better last year.
Cheating.
Is that what you're saying? He didn't play better than Deshaun Watson last year.
Cheating.
I'm just curious.
I got 5 minutes to skate this question, TD.
You ain't gotta skate it. The truth is the truth, man. The man played better than him last year.
You ain't gonna find 5 people in their right mind to say Tannehill is better than Deshaun.
I didn't say he was better. I said he played better last year. And not only did I say he played better last year, for the years to come, he's going to play better because he's going to have more surrounding him.
He's going to play better. Okay.
He's going to play better because he has more surrounding him. Tunsil's $22 million a year. Like, put that in perspective. The Patriots haven't spent more than $22 million on an offensive line in 10 years. And Laramie Tunsil's making $22 million a year. Let that sink in. The Patriots haven't spent more than $22 million for their entire O-line, including reserves, in 10 years. Y'all go look at it. Go look it over the cap. Y'all go look at it. The Patriots haven't spent more than $22 million, and Tunsil's making $22 million alone. Deshaun Watson is going to get his $40 million. Come on now.
Kidding.
Hello?
Kidding.
Yeah, I know. I got you. Come on, Phinsanity.
Kidding.
Time will tell.
Listen, time don't got to tell me this one.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
What does it tell you?
Huh?
It tells you that Houston's going to be in the playoffs over the Titans?
This year?
This year, the year after, all of that.
I think it's like this. Are you saying, because now you're talking, to me, because you can have, with 7 teams, they both can make the playoffs. Like, let's be honest.
True.
Let's talk about division winners. They're right.
Tennessee.
Yeah, that's who your division winner is?
They're going to win the division.
No, they're not.
They're going to win the division.
They're not. And
then same team, just got a little younger because they minus the offensive lineman, which they addressed early in the draft. Defense got a little better with the young guys they brought in. I just think that, and they have more camaraderie. That's one team that actually kept a lot intact. They kept a lot intact. They lost like 3 guys on the whole roster that are starters. The offensive lineman, Logan Ryan, and Cam Wake was considered the starting defensive end, but they addressed that in the draft. He got hurt this year, so it didn't even matter.
Kidding.
I'm just saying, man.
Good luck to you on that.
So who gonna win the AFC East?
Huh?
Who gonna win the AFC East?
Who's winning the AFC East?
Yeah.
I never pick against the Dolphins. I don't care how gleam it looks. I never pick against the Dolphins. I mean, I don't make that bet like an actual bet, but if you want me to say who's going to win, like heart of hearts, it's always going to be the Dolphins. I don't care if we went out there with 0 people on the field. Dolphins have already won the AFC East to me. It doesn't matter.
So does any other team in our division get a wild card spot? Any other team in our in the conference get a wild card spot?
This year, honestly, like I said, I think the only way an AFC East team makes it to the playoffs this year is through the division, just because of how tough our schedule is, to be honest.
Listen, we already know we're going to win the division, and we're going to beat up on Tennessee in the first round when Houston's at home. This is TD Phinstalk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Thank you for waking up with TD and Phinsanity in the morning. Even though we're gonna continue this conversation later. We're gonna continue this later.
We're gonna take you to QB school.
Hey, let's do it. Let's do it. Teach me something.
Don't disrespect Deshaun Watson like that. I'm
not disrespecting him. I like his game, but adding $40 million, I don't think he's going to help that team win. I don't think so. But anyway, love y'all. Thank you so much, Phinsanity. I'll see you soon. All right.
Yes, sir.
Y'all have a good day, y'all. Hit that like button on your way out. Everybody. Peace. Good morning.